if you're black from any other country, you're doing way better. If you're an American black person, then you're a lazy piece of
You want to tell us to be grateful for centuries of bondage, but then want to turn around and say we would be doing better if we were black from any other country? Y'all got to get some consistency here. Welcome to Racist of the Week, where we expose the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the page, and definitely leave me any possible suggestions for nominees in the comments. You can email me at reese@reesewaters.com. Now here I am thinking that our criminal justice system couldn't get any more goofy.
I never was, but now I am because you're shoving the down my throat.
Oh, I'm gonna have to talk about that. That wasn't even what I was referring to. Here I am thinking our criminal justice system couldn't get any more goofy and shameless and decrepit. And I open up my email and I get a message from Michael Brown hipping me to today's nominee, and shout out to you, Michael, Oakland County, Michigan Judge Kathleen Ryan. All right, put on the Summer Jam screen.
The Honorable Kathleen Ryan presiding.
Good morning. You may be seated.
After more than 13 years on the bench, Oakland County Chief Probate Pro Tem Judge Kathleen Ryan is out of her courtroom. Chief Probate Judge Linda Hallmark removed Judge Ryan from her docket last week, announcing that a complaint about internal allegations of unprofessional conduct was sent to the Judicial Tenure Commission. Judge Ryan was arrested in 2021 for domestic violence, but those charges were later dismissed. And now she's back in the headlines.
If you're black from any other country, you're doing way better. If you're an American black person, then you're a lazy piece of
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop us right there. Can y'all get y'all racism straight? Like, first you want to tell us to be grateful, right? Be grateful for slavery. Hey, what if you were still in Africa? What if you never came to America? We're the greatest country in the world. You want to tell us to be grateful for centuries of bondage, but then want to turn around and say we would be doing better if we were black from any other country? Y'all got to get some consistency here. I mean, really, the racism ranks is in total disarray. It's real bad. They need better leadership. This is what happens when Steve Bannon goes to jail.
The 7 investigators have obtained the recordings that county officials say prompted Judge Ryan's removal.
Oh, he's just I have no use for him. I can honestly say that. Okay, I'm not systemically racist. I'm a new racist.
Ooh, a judge. I can honestly say I'm not systemically racist. I'm a new racist. Okay, so if you are not systemically racist, you're saying that you take it upon yourself just to be racist. You don't just go along with the racist gravy train, because that would be systemically racist. You find ways to be racist independent of yourself. Okay, so you are a special racist. You are an independent thinker racist. You are a racist of your own creation. What, you want, a cookie? I'll take things a judge should never say for 500, please. Hey, what judge you got? Oh, I got Ryan. Yeah, no, cause she's not systemically racist. Nah, she wanted a new racist. Yeah, so I'm gonna be okay.
I can honestly say that. Okay, I'm not systemically racist. I'm a new racist. I never was, but now I am because you're shoving the down my throat and making allegations that you don't know about. You're telling me who I am and you've never met me. You. You.
Okay, Michigan, I'm gonna have to go ahead and look at the qualifications to become a judge, because what she is saying is I was never racist before, but now I am, because you're shoving it down my throat. She didn't say what it is. I can only imagine that it is calls to be treated like a whole human being and acknowledgement of racism embedded in our country's fabric, like judges. So, because you're shoving this down my throat, now I'm racist because you're making allegations that you know nothing about. Now, what would those allegations be, Kathleen Ryan? Would those be allegations of racism? Which would now be correct, right? Right? Like those allegations, people who knew nothing about you claim that you were racist, and man, that hit dog hollered. Man, how did they know? Oh, come on. I can't even be a new racist in the privacy of my own courtroom in the United States of America. What is going on today? They just happened to hit on a new racist when they made the allegations of racism, which would make them, let's say it together, class, correct. Michigan, I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and diversify the qualification process to become a judge. It has to go well past reading, writing, and arithmetic. Because I know she didn't pass nothing else.
Hutton says the judge also used homophobic slurs about other elected officials.
We just gonna sprinkle a little homophobia on top. You know what I mean? Just sprinkle a little bit on like Salt Bay. You know what I mean? I'm going, I don't know if you was offended. How about that? How about now? Now you might be asking yourself, well, how did all of this come to light? Well, I'm glad you asked.
Down my throat and making allegations that you don't know about. You're telling me who I am and you've never met me. You. You. Oh, he's just I have no use for him.
She's made it a living hell in the past 6 years. I mean, it's been terrible. It's cost me relationships. I think it's affected my health. Can't sleep.
Attorney Edward Hutton is the Oakland County Probate Court Administrator. He's in charge of running everything that's not under the judge's purview inside one of the state's largest probate courts. Hutton alleges Judge Ryan has been calling him both during work and after hours for years. And Hutton says during those hours and hours of calls, Judge Ryan said highly inappropriate things.
Wait a minute. Did this man say that the judge calling him at all different hours saying inappropriate things has cost him relationships? Huh? Like, was he out at it? You know what? Hold on. I gotta take this. It's the judge want to be racist. Hold on. You. A jungle what?
Why did you start recording the calls?
I just felt like it wasn't going to change. Nothing's manipulated in it. It's conversations that I was a part of, and I'm absolutely willing to testify to the authenticity of every single one of them.
Hutton says the judge also used homophobic slurs about other elected officials. And that's not all.
A lot of times they were conversations about sexual encounters that she's having with various individuals. I mean, in intimate detail.
Wait. Run that back one more time. One more time. I don't think I heard you correctly.
A lot of times they were conversations about sexual encounters that she's having with various individuals. I mean, in intimate detail.
Wait, she was calling him and talking about tricking off in addition to the racism and the homophobia. Sounds like I don't think anybody needs a friend more than she needs a friend. I mean, she needs a girlfriend in the worst way. Oh my gosh. I mean, the kind of things that your average girlfriend or, your man's or whoever would have access to if they wanted to go public is wild. And she basically treated this man in that capacity, irregardless of the fact that they work together. And these are not things that are becoming of a judge. She was willing to risk it all because she was in that desperate need of friendship. And listening to those recordings, I can only imagine why. I can only imagine why. Karens need love too. They do. Karens need love too, because this is what happens. This is what happens when they don't get it.
Hutton says for years he felt like he had to play along, and he says for years he was afraid to speak up.
I didn't want to lose my job, and I didn't want to be in her crosshairs. It's such a David and Goliath situation. I don't have the power. I'm not elected. I could get fired tomorrow.
On May 24th, Hutton says he sent Chief Judge Linda Hallmark a notice of sexual harassment.
For 3 months, nothing happened.
That's why on August 22nd, Hutton says he decided to send the recordings to the Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court, Oakland County Executive David Coulter, and other public officials. And he also contacted me.
Linda Hallmark. Yeah, I'm gonna need to holler at you. I'm gonna need to holler at you. So he sent you this in May? He sent you this in May, and nothing happened for 3 months until he went to the media. If you are paying attention, now I'm gonna get back around to the ramifications for the criminal justice system. I'll land that plane at the end. But I just wanna make this point clear. For 3 months, nothing happened until he went to the media. So you had a judge that was openly spewing this kind of racism and homophobia, okay, was recorded. The recording was sent up the chain of command to the property authorities, and they still did nothing, even though they knew that there was a judge who was presiding over the lives of these people, did nothing for 3 months until what happened? Until he went to the media. Now we get some movement when the public becomes aware and you become incapable of sitting on it, as apparently you were planning to. Whatever happens to Kathleen Ryan, I'm gonna need Linda Hallmark right behind her.
I just want to make it right. I haven't filed a lawsuit. I'm not looking for a payday. I want to keep my job and do it in peace. And I want the people in Oakland County that come to court to get a fair shake, to have their day in court, to have an unbiased trier of fact.
In that email, Hutton said Judge Ryan, quote, has vocalized her hate and contempt for various protected groups. Once the recordings were shared with those state and county officials, Judge Ryan was removed from her docket.
Now, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel, who I'm assuming was unaware of this back in May, swiftly reacted to the investigation, released the following statement following the airing of the story. The story, as reported, is very disturbing. Fairness, a sense of impartial justice, and prudent judgment are essential values our state's judges must exercise, and these allegations portray a grave failing of those values from a probate court bench. This case dramatically underscores the need for critical guardianship reform now, including requiring probate judges to provide reasoning for when they bypass family members in favor of professional guardians. My department and the Elder Abuse Task Force has worked closely with stakeholders for years now to develop and pass a legislative package that will provide long-needed reforms to the guardianship statutes. We've all recognized the dire need for these reforms, with the exception of the probate judges who stand opposed to this legislation. Shocking. I hope this investigation proceeds swiftly and helps illustrate why Michigan needs these essential and urgent reforms. Okay, so to those probate judges that stand opposed to the legislation, I would like to ask, after this story, if they still stand opposed to this legislation, and if so, why? Because one thing that is absolutely necessary, and one that's a conclusion that is inescapable from this, is major reforms are required, because we are at a point where our process for evaluating the people that are eligible to make decisions and determinations that affect people's lives cannot weed out open racists. Okay, new racists. Okay, maybe we were weeding out the old kind. We're not weaving out the new racists. It's almost like performance enhancing testing when it comes to the Olympics and sports in general. Like we always got to stay in front of the testers. They always a step ahead. They always a step ahead. What is it? Just the racists just always a step ahead? This is an indicator that the racists are a step ahead. Okay, there are some holes in our process. Some of the new racists are getting through. So obviously reform and new legislation is necessary. But whenever there's a story like this, my mind always goes to how many are out there. Clearly, we are incapable of weeding these people out entirely from being in positions of power in this country. Even the ones that have these kinds of open views, she just happened to have been particularly sloppy, particularly lonely, and particularly talkative. And so hers became public. But clearly, there are many others out there that are not as sloppy and that are not as lonely and have people that they can relay these kinds of views to that aren't going to record them and put them on the Suberdram screen. In addition, they have safeguards in place like the Linda Hallmarks that will sit on it for months and do nothing even when they are identified. So you have to ask yourself, how many of these people are actually out there in positions of power in America today? It is extremely disturbing. Now, investigators did reach out to Judge Kathleen Ryan to talk to her about this. In a written statement, her attorneys Gerald Gleason and Thomas Cranmer said, "We respect the authority of the Michigan Supreme Court. However, we look forward to vindicating Judge Ryan in the appropriate forum." Vindicating how? I would love to know how you plan to vindicate, because she didn't have a Snickers. She didn't have a Snickers, so that she wasn't herself. Like, I don't want it. What she had bitter beer face, and she saw herself in the mirror. She just reacted angrily, blamed black people, called herself a new racist. I need to understand do you feel like she can be vindicated from multiple recordings expressing this open hostility and discriminatory feelings? I would love to know. I would love to know. Now, I did mention Linda Hallmark earlier, the Oakland County Chief Probate Judge. She said in a statement released last week that the allegations have been sent to the Judicial Tenure Commission, which will decide whether to investigate it further. And of course, if she has anything to do with it, it won't be, as evidenced by her actions prior. Investigators also spoke to Oakland County Probate Judge Daniel O'Brien. He said Judge Ryan's friends are supporting her and believe these statements are totally out of character. Well, that's interesting, because she wasn't talking about one particular black person. She wasn't talking about one particular gay person. She called herself a new racist. I don't know what you think character means, but she has clearly articulated the kind of character that she is. Let's go to her own words.
I can honestly say that. Okay, I'm not systemically racist. I'm a new racist.
Sounds like her character is pretty defined. And I would like to add, while we're talking about disturbing aspects of this story, okay, I alluded to how many others might be out there. Here you have another probate judge saying her friends are supporting her and believe these statements are totally out of character, in addition to the chief probate judge, Linda Hallmark, who did nothing for 3 months. So you see just how appalled the other judges are by one of their ranks expressing these kind of feelings. I'm gonna need some more investigation. We can know. I'm gonna need some more, because your reaction has led me to the place where, how normalized is this? Michigan, hey, you messed up, Daniel O'Brien. You messed up. Daniel O'Brien and Linda Hallmark, if you wanted me to believe that this was not representative of the Michigan probate judges, you handle it 1,000% wrong. But since we're talking about character, this is the same judge that was arrested in 2021 for domestic violence, but those charges were later dismissed. Why? Why were those charges dismissed? I'm just curious, because I see how you can have your other judges back when it comes to them being racist. So I'm wondering if that also had anything to do with getting her charges dismissed. I would also like to say it speaks to the character of the kind of person that you were trying to vindicate. Speaking of character, congratulations, Oakland County, Michigan Judge Kathleen Ryan. You are our Racist of the Week. Also, thanks to Michael Brown for emailing me this story. I also want to give a shout out to Consuelo Bradley, who emailed me about the Alabama Department of Corrections and some of the atrocities therein. I appreciate you sending that. I will absolutely look into that, because criminal justice and criminal justice reform is really the backbone of this particular channel. It predates a lot of the videos that you guys have been watching, so obviously that's something of great interest to me. Also of great interest to me, the fact that after I was sent this story, I happened to look it up, and for some reason the name Kathleen Ryan was lost on me. I couldn't remember the judge's name, so I looked up the name that I thought it was, which happened to be Catherine Smith. I just looked up Catherine Smith because I thought that was the name of it. And lo and behold, there is a Catherine Smith that has been accused of horrific racism. How is it that when I accidentally look up a person's name now in 2024, they too could be Racist of the Week? How bad has it gotten? How bad has it gotten? Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and especially those of you that have liked and subscribed to the page. Did y'all know I had a website? I know, it's so kind of old-fashioned these days. Yes, I have a website, reesewaters.com. There you'll find my most recent work, but also my past work if you want to know a little bit more about me. You'll also find a portal where you could sign up for my newsletter. You could also sign up by sending me an email at reese@reesewaters.com. You could also send me any suggestions for ideas, something I need to take a look at, or you just want to say hello. And by the way, if you go to the website now, you'll find a little something special. That's right, we got merch. There's mugs there, there's t-shirts there, there's hats there, repping street politics, troubled waters, and of course, Racist of the Week. Where would we be without Racist of the Week? I don't know that I would have any content.